Good morning, student. Welcome to Janaki Academy online classes, Standard 12 Science, subject Biology, chapter number 13. Yes, so yesterday we just have seen about the adaptations. Now, let's move to the next topic, that is population attributes. So, what is exactly population? We are talking about any single species which is related to population. But we know if a given area is given to you, okay, we are talking about land, water, specifically in land, if we talk about forest, if we talk about grasslands, okay, you will not see a single organism species, but what you will have different species which are living together in that geographical area. They are sharing, they are competing all the resources which are there, and there will be interbreeding between these species also. Okay, so we can say that interbreeding implies sexual reproduction. A group of individuals resulting from even asexual production is also generally considered a population for the purpose of ecological studies. Okay, so there are both the things, that is sexual reproduction also and asexual reproduction also. They have given one example here, that is if we talk about a wetlands, what you will get rat in an abundant dwelling, okay, teak wood trees in a forest track, bacteria in a culture plate, and lotus plant in a pond are some examples of population, okay, where you can easily find these organisms. Okay, now these organisms, if you see, they have their population level. Okay, see, if we are talking about rats, the rats which you see in a particular area, their population will have some level. Okay, if we talk about bacteria, these bacteria also, their number will be many. So according to, they will have some population levels. Okay, so population ecology is therefore an important area of ecology because it links ecology to population genetics and evolution. So here they are not only including different organism, but they are here specifying only one species, and they are talking that that single species are very important in ecology. Okay, because ecology doesn't mean only single organism, they are group of different organisms which together communicate. But if you see a single organism, a single population of that organism, they are having their own levels. Okay, so you can say that if we talk about rats, okay, just take about rats, they will have birth rate also, they will have death rate also. Okay, there will be rats that will give birth to the young ones, and there will be rats which will become dead. So that single population will have birth rate and death rate also, and these in a population refers to per capita birth and death rate. Okay, so we can say all together each and every population is contributing to the current population. Okay, so if we are talking about a population at any given time is composed of individuals of different ages, we can form a pyramid. Okay, different ages means those who are in pre-reproductive, those who are in reproductive, and those who are in post-reproductive. Okay, so each of the organism we can make a pyramid. Okay, just see the pyramid, they have shown a pyramid. This is a single population they are talking about. Let's see about rat only. Okay, so let's see what they are talking about. If the age distribution, okay, age wise, of a single organism, we are talking about rat only, okay, is plotted for a population, the resulting structure is called as age pyramid. For human population, the age pyramid generally show age distribution of males and females in a combined diagram. Okay, so they are not differentiating it, but they are combining. So a individual organism can show three types, that is expanding, stable, and declining. Expanding, okay, which is in A1, you can say they will have more pre reproductive population. Then reproductive population is less, and post reproductive, that is the old ones, they are declining. So the graph or pyramid which you get is a triangle one. Okay, in stable one, what you have, the all organism, all the individual, suppose that only, the number is coming approximately similar. Okay, and in declining, what it is happening, the pre-reproductive is less, then we have reproductive, and then post-reproductive, which is known as declining. So if we are representing age pyramid, okay, here they are talking about human population. So in that we will have three, that is expanding, stable, and declining. Okay, the size of population tell us a lot about its status in the habitat. Okay, now seeing this pyramid, we can simply say how this population is in an ecology. Okay, whatever ecological processes we wish to investigate in a population, be it out of competing with another species, the impact of predator, or the effect of pesticide application, will always evaluate them in terms of any change in population size. Okay, the size in nature would be as low as 10, okay, or go into millions. Population size, more technically called as population density. So we can get the density of individual organisms living in a ecosystem. So if we talk about the graph, okay, it is told that expanding pyramid is the best pyramid which is showing in ecology. Okay, if the human population is having expanding pyramid, then we can say that ecology is healthy, where the death rate and the birth rate is having the good ratio. Okay, yes, now let's move further. So how we calculate the population density? Okay, population density is exactly, we can say that whatever area we are taking, in that particular area, what is the density, we can calculate according to the area we are measuring. Okay, see the example which they have given is Parthenium plant. Okay, that Parthenium plant is present, or we can say, if there are 200 Parthenium plants but only a single huge banyan tree with a large canopy, stating that the population density of banyan is low relative to that of Parthenium, amount to underestimate the enormous role of banyan in that community. Okay, so number of Parthenium plants, okay, we can say a population of Parthenium is more as compared to banyan tree. So here the ecology is not stable, or we can say the biomass of that particular area is not stable, and we can say that the biomass is the more meaningful measure of a population size. Okay, the total number is again not an easily adoptable measure if the population is huge. Okay, so population should not be more and it should not be less. There should be a proper ratio, the size and the biomass. It should be having some equal ratio, and this will give you a good area. Okay, so the number of fish, if we are taking from a pond or lake by trapping it, so if we take out that fish and if we calculate, we can find the density. Okay, like from one dwelling or from one catching or one trap, how many fishes we are taking out. So we can approximately calculate the density of the fish in a lake. So this is, we can roughly calculate its. So we can, if we want to calculate what is done in national parks and sanctuaries, they are calculating the pug marks. Okay, like if they are doing the census, they are counting it. Plants are stationary, so they can mark them and count them, and they can calculate their size, okay, population size. But if we are talking about animals who are not stationary, who are roaming, for them, how they will calculate? They will calculate on the basis of pug marks, on the basis of facial palettes. Okay, they will calculate them, and according to that they are knowing the numbers. Okay, you must have heard that each and every year, or each and after 2 to 5 years, the lions are being measured. Okay, the tigers sensex are going on, rhinos sensex are going on. And what they are doing, they're not going and counting each and every lion or tiger or rhinos, because we cannot go and calculate. But what they will go, they will select some areas, they will select some patches, and in that patch they will calculate the pug marks, they will calculate the fecal matter, and accordingly they will give the data. So with this we can easily calculate the population density. Okay, so if we want to talk about population growth of a particular organism or particular ecology, how we will calculate is that population growth should be stable. We have two things, okay, that is birth rate and death rate. So if birth rate and death rates are equal, then we can say it is a healthy population. If birth rate is more and death rate is less, number of species will increase. And if birth rate is less and death rate is more, then again the thing will change. Birth rate less or birth rate more, death rate less or death rate more. Again, each and everything will change the population density. So, if we talk about the density exactly, we have four important things: natality, mortality, immigration, and emigration. Now, see, natality and mortality, you know about the number of birth and number of death. Okay, so just I'll quickly explain you that natality, it is refers to the number of birth during a given period of population that are added to initial density. Okay, so what they will do after 3 years, 4 years, or after certain period, they will go, they will calculate the young ones, they will see how many birds the animal has given. So that will be their natality day. And death, how many death is occurred, so that will be their mortality day. Now the two things, that is immigration, emigration. Okay, immigration is what? Number of individual of the same species that have come into the habitat from everywhere else, okay, during the time period. Okay, same individual. Okay, if in a given area it is coming from outside, that is immigration. Okay, immigrants from another area, they are moving inside, and immigrants means moving outwards from that same population, from that same given habitat. If some of the organisms they are moving out, then that will be counted. So we can say here that if we calculate the population density of an individual organism, suppose I'll explain you with the help of tiger. Okay, population density of tiger, if we want to increase, or if it is increased, how it is increased? It is increased by natality and immigration, because more birth rate and more tigers are coming from different areas. So ultimately what will happen? The number will increase, and ultimately we can say the density is increasing. So if we want to increase the population density, natality and immigration should be increased. And if the population density is decreased, that means more death rate is happening and more immigration is done. Okay, so there are various ways, various methods by which these population is increased or decreased. Okay, like habitat is one of the reason. If a particular area is not having water, scarcity of water is there, population is more, then ultimately the organism either they will die, mortality will increase, or they will move to some other area. So because of this thing, the population density will decrease. And if it is increasing, that means sufficient amount of food and water is there in that area. And because of that, the population density is increasing. Understood these things? So if we want to calculate population density, it is given by nt plus 1, that is the time period. Okay, and nt plus b, that is c, bidc, it is all given over here. Okay, that is natality. Okay, so it is natality plus immigration minus death rate, that is mortality and immigration. So if we are calculating it, both these things should be kept in mind. Okay, that is natality, mortality, immigration and immigration. And once we calculate this, we will get population density. Understood? So if we want to see this, how this control population growth is there, I have told you that sources, that is the food and space available to that population, if it is good, they are getting limited, they are getting unlimited food, they are having surface area to live, then ultimately what will happen? They will reproduce, they will increase their number, death rates will decrease, and ultimately their population density will become increased. Okay, and second one is your logical growth. Okay, where if we plot a graph, okay, the graph is given over here. See, I'll explain you. Okay, see this graph, they have given a graph where they have shown population density and time. Two things are there, I have explained you these two things. See, if the population is getting good food, good area to reproduce, then we will get exponential curve, that is given in a red in color. Okay, when responses are not limiting the growth. Okay, plot is exponential, they are not limiting the growth. Okay, growth is continuously happening in that area in a given period of time. And b, which is given in blue, what it is? When response are limiting. Okay, they have lack of responses. Okay, responses means they are talking about food and space. If it is limiting, then the plot will be logistic. Okay, where they have the fixed amount, and as they are having fixed amount, then they will decrease. Okay, and what you will get is a J-shaped curve is seen over here. Okay, you will get a J-shaped curve. So in exponential curve, that is in A, we will get a J-shaped curve because all the resources are there, they are available, and as they are having these sources, the density is very good. And as you know, the Darwin said, if you want to survive, if you want to live, then all the situations, all the things which is given to you have to face them. Theory of natural selection was given by Darwin. Okay, so those who can survive, those who can live in that situation will exist and will grow. Okay, so even they are talking about elephant, which is a very slow growing animal. would reach enormous number in the absence of checks. Okay, so if nobody is there to kill elephant, nobody is hunting, then their number will also increase, even though they are slow growing animals, but still their number will be increased. So we have two type of growth: exponential growth and logical growth. Logical growth is we are having limited sources, okay, and these will show a lag phase, okay, where we will get a phase of acceleration and then deceleration, and finally asymptomatic, that is, they will come to a stationary level. And because of this, their graph will be called as, we can just show you the graph. Okay, it is like this, that is blue in color. Okay, accelerating, then a certain decline, and after then a constant is seen. So this is of exponential growth, where the sources for growth for most animal population are finite and becomes limiting sooner or later. The logistic growth model is considered as a more realistic, okay, because this is the fact. When the population will increase, ultimately the sources, okay, the resources which are there, it will become limiting. Okay, so this is the phase which is common in most of the areas, and the graph which we get over here is the sigmoid curve. Okay, the S curve we are getting over here, which is known as sigmoid curve. Okay, now come to the next topic is your life history variations. Okay, we have variations which is seen. Okay, the population involves to maximize their reproductive fitness is called Darwin's fitness. Okay, in the habitat in which they live. Under a particular set of selection pressure, organisms evolve towards the most effective reproductive strategies. Some organisms breed only once in their lifetime. Okay, there are many organisms like salmon, fish, bamboos. Okay, while other breed many times during their life, like birds and mammals. Okay, some produce a large number of small size offsprings, while other produce small number of large size offsprings. Okay, so which is desirable for maximizing fitness. Ecologists suggest that life history trends of organisms have evolved in relation to the constraints imposed by abiotic and biotic components of the habitat in which they live. Okay, so this variation which you see, okay, that some organisms are breeding only once in the life and some are breeding many, some are reproducing large number of small size offsprings and others are producing small size large number. So this is variations. And why this variation is observed? Because they are having different abiotic and biotic factors. Okay, their habitat are different. Okay, all these organisms, they are not living in a single habitat, they are found in different habitat. So as they are living in different habitat, they are imposed or exposed to different abiotic and biotic components, and because of this variations are seen. Okay, so evolution of life history trade in different species is currently an important area of research being conducted by ecologists. So ecologists, they are working on these things, that why the variations are seen in these organisms, and because of these variations the densities are increasing and decreasing. So why these areas and species, this ratio or this exponential things are found. Okay, so with this I'll just end today's lecture. Tomorrow I'll come again and we'll discuss some more topics which are left. So with this, thank you and have a nice day.